اسمك ورقمك تيحكم. لا بس ماما. Comment j'attends qu'il quitte. Welcome everyone to our session. We're gonna start with our session, which is scheduled at 4. It's about ensuring export compliance with food safety systems, organized by Rentokel Boyker. And I will be presenting, definitely. So first of all, I would like to thank HORECA teams to this successful event and to give us this stage to introduce you more to all the food safety standards that we are encountering in our days. We're gonna talk about we chose the theme of ensuring export compliance with food safety because simply we got inspired by HORECA's theme, which is connecting and building bridges. So you know, today with everything's happening around, we're having a little bit difficulties in like liquidity, cash, and etc. So this is why we need to have resources such as exporting our products and being being like satisfied with everything that we're getting. So first, I will be presenting, as I said, I'm representing Rentokel Boyker Lebanon branch. I'm Joelle Gharib. I'm the food safety unit manager of this company. We also have Ala Osairan. She's the food safety and quality team leader of Tayyibat company. She will be introducing herself in a while as well. And Ms. Maris Tannous, she's the food safety team leader and manager of Malak al-Tawuq Lebanon as well. So what we will be talking about, it's about ensuring export compliance with the food safety systems. First of all, we're gonna talk about who we are, who is Rentokel Boyker, and what's food safety and why it's important to have food safety management system in our company. I'm gonna highlight key points about each food safety management system and the importance of each system, such as the ISO 22000, the FSSC, the BRC system, Global Gap, and we're gonna have testimonial. We're lucky enough today to have them on site with us. They're gonna share their experience, and so someone who's already implementing a system for several years and having the ISO certification, and another one who is in the process of doing an FSSC certification. And finally, I will keep 10 minutes for your question in case you have any question for me or for my guests. So let's start first of all about Rentokel Boyker. You all know maybe that their company was founded in 1994. We are the pioneer in the public health sector in Lebanon and in the region. We are focusing on pest control, food safety, germ control, hygiene and scenting services and products. The food safety department started in 1998. So technically right after the pest control launching, we started with the food safety department. And here I'm very proud to say that exactly at that time, no one was aware about food safety. We were actually the first one who's talking about HACCP. When we were saying HACCP, everyone was looking around, what is HACCP? Is it that important to have a food safety management system? And I can proudly say that yes, definitely we need food safety management systems in our company, in our food industries in order to ensure continuity of our systems. As Rentokel Boyker, what is in our food safety department? Definitely after the session, you can check our booth. We do have a stand and we can explain a little bit more about all the services that we are providing. But in the food safety department, we do give trainings food safety trainings, definitely, such as HACCP, ISO, level 2, level 3 food safety management, etc. We do have consultancy programs that I'm going to explain and talk a little bit about more now. And also we have our signature consultancy program, which is the Q Platinum Award. And the Q Platinum Award is designated for small to medium enterprises, restaurants who were not eligible or they cannot afford a fully fledged ISO system or FSSC system. Then we can start with the Q Platinum Award. Some facts about food safety and what's the importance of food safety. Did you know that almost 1 in 10 people in the world get sick after eating contaminated food, which means around 420,000 die every year? And this is not me who said it, it's proved by WHO. Also, if we're gonna go to the United States, in the United States, you have CDC estimated 48 million people get sick and 128,000 are hospitalized and 3,000 die every year from foodborne diseases in the States. So definitely food safety management system is really important. So we're in Lebanon and we all know what's happening around and especially in our region. Where do we stand against the food safety, toward the food safety systems and food safety and food poisoning and everything? Does any one of you had experienced food poisoning in the last year, in 2020, 2021? No food poisoning cases? Definitely. We had lots of cases of food poisoning. So food poisoning statistically, and those statistics are from the ones who are registered in hospitalization systems. So they went, it was a severe case and they went to hospital. We have, it increased at least 20% from the 2020 to the 2021. So, what about exporting? The topic is about export. Do we have like cases of food poisoning or rejection and exports? Unfortunately, yes, we do have this. During 2020, more than 12 rejections were done from the EU from the Lebanese products. And by I'm talking about Lebanese products, I'm talking about fruits, vegetables, meat, etc. So this is something like a little bit bad, definitely. In 2021, in December only, and actually to be precise, we have more than 20 import refusals from Lebanon were done by the FDA. And to be precise, there were 25. And now in Jan, we had maybe 1 or 2 cases. In Feb, luckily, we didn't have any so far. So also, this is why this is increasing the need of implementing a system. That's why food poisoning, it may affect everyone, everywhere, and every business even. Because when we got food poisoned, we have recalls, we have everything, then our business is also affected. That's why it's very important that we need to be aware that food poisoning, it may ruin our business financials and our reputations. Do you know how many it costs to have a container that is retained in the custody just because they need papers, they need lab testing that are still pending or it's rejected? And each one, it's costing a lot. Or if the plane or the shipment reached to the country of destination and then it got suspended. Can you imagine the cost? This is why this is very important. And this makes the food safety an essential component in assessing the available instrument of quality assurance in our region. So who wants to export? I assume here we have lots of industries and they want to export. Simply, everyone is eligible to export. You have just to abide by the rules and regulations to provide safe food and provide them a proof that you're doing so. How? By giving a hazard plan or a hazard analysis, by having the basic GMPs in your industry, and by being compliant. How can we do so? By choosing the right system for your business. And here I would like to say that we have several options to choose from. in implementing the systems. HACCP, the first food safety management system, started in the early 1960s with the NASA, and then it got elaborated to non-canned because it started with the canned product. In the 1985, we still have only the HACCP back then, and then we started to have other systems. The first one is the BRC, which was in the 1998, and we still have up-to-date BRC systems and implementation of the BRC. Then we have the global gap. We also have the GFSI that I'm going to explain what is a GFSI, which is the Global Food Safety Initiative that was launched in the year 2000. And by the way, they have the conference, the yearly conference in 29 and 30 of March this year in Spain. So let's wait and see what we have as updates. And the ISO, the famous ISO, started in 2005, and now today we're having the second edition of the ISO, which is the ISO 22018. And finally, our new baby, not baby anymore, is the FSSC 22000, which started in 2009. The thing is that there is no one-size-fits-all approach in implementing a system. This is why we need experts. This is why we need to be really focusing on what is important to choose. So we will be sharing our experience by explaining a little bit of technicalities in the implementation, and then with our ladies, we're gonna share how to implement an ISO system and an FSSC system. Are you ready? So, let's start with the ISO. The ISO started definitely it's the International Standardization Organization, which means equal. ISO, it's equal in Greek, and it started in 2005. The main point of ISO is to have a PDCA cycle, which is the plan, do, check, and act, which is focusing, it's a very systematic approach, and we're focusing on the risk-based thinking as well. The second edition was recently published in 2018. Who can apply or implement an ISO system? Anyone who's in the feed sector can apply the ISO system. It's not only for food catering or food manufacturing. It can be for animal producers, such as meat product, definitely, harvesting of wild plants and animal farmers, ingredients, retailers, food catering services, cleaning, sanitation, cleaning chemicals. Sometimes also you can apply for the ISO 22000, storage and distribution, packaging, food contact materials or equipment. Also, they can be certified against the ISO 22018. How can we implement the ISO? Do I have certified clients here, ISO 22000? Yes, proudly. Great. So actually, by implementing the ISO, we start with a gap report to see where do we stand. And then we start by training our staff, implementing the prerequisite program, which I'm not going to elaborate now because they are huge and they need like a lot of time in it. The HACCP system, which is the Hazard Analysis Critical Control Points. And we're going to talk about the management system as well. So what are the pros and cons of the HACCP system, the ISO system? The ISO system, definitely, it's a worldwide recognition and has credibility among all countries. Everyone is familiar about ISO, and even some people confuse between ISO 22000, ISO 9001, ISO 14001, and etc. But at the end of the day, it's an ISO logo. We are safe. So it improved competitive and improved the exports. It improved the efficiency and the productivity. And here I'm gonna skip all of this and come to the reduction and waste and the costs of recalls. Because part of the ISO, we are demanding to do lab testing, to do verifications, and sometimes we can detect while doing this implementation that we have some small mistake that's happening, and then we stop our production and we will be back going and fixing it without having the whole cost coming on us as a total waste or etc. and a recall. Part of the negative part of the ISO is actually that, unfortunately, until today, it's not a GFSI approved scheme yet, which means that if you want to be GFSI approved, you cannot implement the ISO by itself. You need to upgrade to the FSSC system. Before starting with the FSSC, I'm going to go fast and talk about the global gap, the GFSI scheme, which is the Global Food Safety Initiative. What is the GFSI? It's something very trendy. Everyone in the field will tell you about, are you GFSI approved? Do you know what is GFSI? I'm sorry, you cannot get, I cannot get from your products, you are not GFSI approved. Actually, GFSI, it's as simple as a group of people who are this big bosses here. The bench of those board of directors, they chose they group themselves and they team up to do a standard, or actually a list of standards. They approved list of standards to give us the approval on implementing and being GFSI approved. So definitely, whenever you want to work with, for example, McDonald's, you should choose a certification that is GFSI approved. When you want to work with Kraft, for example, you need to choose a GFSI approved scheme as well. So what are those schemes? We can have the BRC, we can have the FSSC, the Global GAP, IFS, and etc. The most trendiest actually and the easiest will be the FSSC. This is why now it's booming a little bit more than before. Why we need the GFSC approval? Because it will offer the food company to access the market worldwide and reduce the trade barriers. So we do have no need to duplicate our audits anymore. We had the certificate, it's a passport for us to skip lots of steps and then export our products. If I'm gonna talk a little bit about the FSSC 22000, it's based on also having the ISO requirements, then the ISO 9001 in case we need to upgrade to a quality system in the FSSC queue. We also need to have the prerequisite program, and then here comes the struggle and the part which is a little bit heavier than the ISO, which are the additional schemes and the additional requirements. What are they? We have the purchasing part, the labeling, food defense, food fraud, logo, management of allergens, transportation, formulation of product, environmental monitoring. Also, we still have the storage, hazard control for prevention of cross-contamination, PRP's verification, food development, requirement of organization if you have a multi-site, and the health status. It's a hassle, yes, if you're gonna read them like this. This is why we do exist. And this is why also we need to read properly the standard to know which additional requirement is suitable for our production. We need to choose, and we're gonna see, we do not apply all of these in one single system. Who are eligible and who should apply an FSSC system? Retail or wholesaler, catering, transportation, food company, industries, manufacturing, food packaging, animal feed, or farming. So more or less, it's the same as the ISO systems. What are the pros and cons? As the ISO, it improved the competitive, but above it all, it's GFSI approved. As simple as it's only the added value of the FSSC is that it is GFSI approved. And for the people who want to a little bit do this extra plus and want to excel in their systems, it's very strict and demanding. This is why being the FSSC, we are the A+ student in class. We like to be like doing a little bit more in our production. Just a little bit of fact and figure about the FSSC. Did you know that 8 new certifications were certified in 2020 in Lebanon, Lebanese companies? In 2021, we have a new certification, 15 new certification in 2021, which means it's booming, which means that everyone now is more familiar and aware about the FSSC, and they want to implement and they want to export. In total, till March 2022, we do have 35 FSSC certified food industry in Lebanon. And I'm still waiting for 2 of them now here that we're gonna expand in April and May, right? Right. tomorrow. I have another tomorrow. Wish us luck. So we're gonna be 36 or 37 in this coming few days. As for the BRC, definitely BRC here is the strict part of the implementation and the product certification. It's really focused, it's really detailed, and like it's super precise. We cannot shift between FSSC or other things. It's very, let's say, a rigid system. We can do it for food safety or food safety here. We can do it for the storage and distribution. And I can proudly say that we already have, as HORECA, a storage and distribution system, BRC certified, which is certified for almost 4 years already, which so it's already something big. We have for packaging and etc. How do we do the BRC for food safety implementation? The standard a little bit different between food safety, storage, etc. But as a whole, it's a senior management commitment at the beginning, the HACCP plan, the quality system, site standard, and product control, process control, personnel, and here this the big names, high risk, low risk, something like that in the BRC. We can explain them in whenever we're gonna implement in a food safety, in a food industry, food production company, the high risk, we have to designate the high risk in the production, like in the layout actually, more specifically. And the requirement for trade in case we do have trades as well. Who is eligible for a BRC? Anyone, they are almost all, but like they can have processed food, raw material, primary food, fruits and vegetables, pet food, etc. The pros and cons of the BRC. The BRC, it's a GFSI approved. And here, by the way, the BRC got approval in the GFSI before the FSSC. And this is why actually I'm gonna give you a secret that my client registered for the BRC because back then when he wanted to do the BRC, the FSSC was not yet approved for the storage and distribution under GFSI. And his client, he has like big name, big chains names. So this is why we went for the BRC. The cons of the BRC is that it's need continuous review, definitely. It's very strict, stricter than the BRC, but stricter than the FSSC. And actually in Lebanon, unfortunately, the certification fees are more expensive. We do not have Lebanese auditor, or actually not, we do not have at all, but we do not have a lot of Lebanese 100% resident in Lebanon being BRC certified auditors. This is why we have to pay the fees of the hotel, the travel fees, and etc. for the certification body to come and to do the BRC, and it's a one year cycle, so we're gonna pay the same fees on yearly basis. As for the global gap, I just put like few slides about the global gap in case we're interested in the agriculture, and we know how now it's booming a little bit more as well. We have the global gap, which is it covered the agriculture practices for agriculture, aquaculture, and livestock. It improved the business performance, and definitely it generates a general approach for best farming practices and products. What are the scopes of the global gap? In the agriculture, anyone can apply, and here for the global gap, it's a product or it's like a produce certification. So it's like you should get a global gap for the lettuce by itself, for the strawberry by itself. So it's something a little bit too detailed oriented. For the livestock as well, or aquaculture as well, it covers like how to implement it. We need to have a food safety plan, environmental, work health, safety and welfare, animal welfare, quality management system, and integrated crop management, and as well the integrated pest control system as well. So who can tell me, what did you decide? Does anyone here in the area wants to implement any food safety management system? Do you have an idea what to choose? Actually, this is a summary table about which system suits you best. which system you would like to have. You have, for the ISO or the FSSC, there are a management certification. The focus is on the management. And this is why actually we cannot put claims about the certification. The BRC, whereas the BRC and the global gap, it's very specific. It's for product itself. So it's a product certification. The focus of the ISO and FSSC is mainly food safety. The other, it's about food safety, quality, and others as well. For the process, the ISO and FSSC, they almost have the same process. It's a two-stage audit. You have a certification audit, and then on yearly basis, it's valid for 3 years, and on yearly basis, you have a surveillance. Whereas the BRC or the global gap, it's for like 1 year, and it's a single shot. You pass or fail. You cannot like improve in the coming from stage 1 to stage 2. As I said, it's a 3-year cycle, but the BRC or global gap is a 1-year cycle. And for the global gap, by the way, it can be less than 365 days. It can be based on the season. Let's say you have something that is seasonal only, it lasts for 6 months. You can get a certification only valid for 6 months. It depends. And here, this is the struggle of everyone, unfortunately, which is about marketing. I'm gonna say it once and for all, we cannot and we are not allowed in any food safety management system to be proud of ourselves in a way and to mention it on our label, on the food label itself, that we are certified. So the logo of the ISO, the FSSC, the BRC, the global gap, any logo is not allowed to be put or to be mentioned on the product itself. We do have some people doing it, but actually it's not. What we can do, it's only having an ISO system and the certification of the ISO, and we can put a claim. By a claim, I mean that we can put that our company is working under an ISO 22000 certified system, and we are a system. It's a claim that you can put. You can choose the best and you can put it, but you cannot put any logo as like the official logo of the ISO, FSSC, or BRC. For the global gap, you have something that's called the GGN, which is the global gap number. You can post it on the product itself, and it's a tracking, it's a traceability system that can track you and to tell you where to go, and you will know that you are a global gap certified product. So which food safety management system is better? It depends, actually. And this is the word that we used to say a lot in university. What's better? It depends. So yes, actually, it depends. Depending on the scope of work, depending on the availability of your team. How many are you? How many are involved in the food safety in your department? What is your return on investment? Is it worth it? Sometimes, believe me, I do have small caterings. They want to implement an ISO system. And when I go there and I will tell them, do you have like to export? Do you need something to do? Like, if not, you can simply shift to our QPA system. No need to pay for, like, say, the full ISO system if you cannot afford it, because like you will get a certification by the end of the day. And definitely it depends on the audit cost. I already told you about the difference. And here also, it's about the certification body. We do have like a lot of well-established and reputable certification bodies in Lebanon that are still existing. And you can compare prices and you can decide. So for the same certificate, the certification fees can differ from a company to another. But it depends. So also the cost of the audit will play a role. Depending on your client request, as I mentioned before, my poor BRC client was requested by a client from his side to do a BRC system. So we were stuck to the BRC, and we were luckily stuck, actually. And definitely, sometimes we need fast results. I want to export starting June. Can I finish my system? We're not like a click away. It's a little bit more than this. At least to have a good system, you need at least, if everything is working perfectly, you need 6 months, guys. So this is what, and by 6 months, we can shift to an ISO, which is a little bit less critical or less hassle and documentation requirements than the FSSC. And definitely based on the expert needs. And here I'm gonna mention something that please you need to ask your distributor or someone else to what are the rules of the country. Do you need, what kind of certification do you need? If it's an ISO, it's a BRC, it's only GFSI approved, so you choose the system or it's required. And sometimes you need to do a client audit, which is like such as AIB or YAM certification or etc. And at the end, I would like to tell you that when you make a commitment, you create a hope. When you keep a commitment, you create a trust. And this is what was said by Mr. John Maxwell. And it's also was mentioned by Mr. Stephen Covey and the 7 effective people, the high effective people, 7 habits of highly effective people as well. And it's not a structure, but I like this one more. This is why I put this one. Just to tell you that it's similar to a food safety management system. When you sign a contract and you decided to start with the implementation, you are doing a commitment. And this is when we're hoping to getting certified and to start the implementation. When you sign this contract and you start and you have already the certification, you are doing a commitment to yourself before doing it to anyone else, and you want to keep this certificate. And in order to keep it, you have to have a full consistency in the management system. And this is why when I'm gonna now share the floor with my clients/friends, and we're gonna share our experiences how to implement an ISO system or an FSSC. What was the struggle? What are the benefits of the implementation? Thank you. So let's start. First, before I start, and I can take like a 2-minute break. Can you introduce yourself, please? Maurice, can you start introducing yourself, the company, etc.? And then Ala as well. Hi, can you hear me? Yes.
Hi, I'm Maurice. I'm the food safety manager in Malak Tawu. I'm an agriculture engineer with a double master in food sciences and quality of food products. I've been with the company for 10 years, and I'm also the food safety team leader there. Malak Tawu, everybody knows Malak Tawu. It's our 25th year. We have more than 30 branches all over Lebanon. We are a leading company in the QSR. QSR is a quick service restaurant chains. And we have now branches all over UAE, Paris, and Qatar, and with also expansion to other countries. So this is a brief about myself and Malak Tawu. Ala.
Okay. Hi everyone, Ala Asairan. I am the food safety team leader for Tayyibat, a leading company in the manufacturing of frozen French fries. Also, I'm a food science and technology engineer graduate from Lebanese University. I've been working for Tayyibat since 5 years, and Tayyibat was started producing since 2011, and it has a great growth. Like in just 2 years, we were just having, for example, we started with 2 trucks for distribution, and now we have like 20 distribution trucks, and we can distribute for over than 90% of the Lebanese cities and villages. And also now we started during this crisis, instead of stopping the business, we wanted to move forward, and we just started exporting our product to several countries, and that's it.
Thank you. So, ladies, let's start first by Malak Tawu or Maurice. I know that you are certified, definitely, and I can proudly say that I was, and I'm still your consultant. You started the certification, it was like more than 2013, and then you shifted from the ISO 22005 in an old industry, let's say, in a specific area, and then you moved this area to another location, which is now in Tabarja. And we continued the certification, the ISO 22005, until having it. And we actually, Malak Al-Tawouk was the first Lebanese company certified against the ISO 22018. I remember it was December 2018 when we did the audit, and it was like kind of a challenging for everyone. And I wish Mr. Ajouri was here with us, the CEO of the company. It was like he really challenged us. He told us, this standard is still new. Can you make it, and can you do the recertification on the new standard? Mariza and I, we were very stubborn in a positive way, and we managed to finish the standard.
To do it in 3 months.
Actually to upgrade in 3 months. So can you tell me a little bit more about what was main, or what were like actually the differences between the ISO 22005, 2018? How did you manage to move the factory, knowing that we worked a little bit on the layout, etc.?
Yes, so we were first certified in 2013 in our old central kitchen, where we had lots of struggles in terms of infrastructure and the premises. It was small, it was old, and we had lots of struggles. We relocated to Tabarja, as Joel said, in 2015, where we also got certified. We've been certified ever since. And in 2018, I'm not gonna retell the story, but also we were having our audit, the regular recertification audit in September 2018, where we were challenged to finish, to upgrade our system to 2018 within 2018, which we did, and we've been also certified ever since. We had lots of struggles. I mean, the main struggle that everybody has in the field is the staff resistance, especially in the beginnings. In the first couple of years, they were really resistant. We had to change staff. Also, the relocation was struggling. Always the infrastructure is a struggle, because you expand the central kitchen, but also the company is expanding. So it's every time you make it bigger, it's still smaller. Every time the company is expanding, it needs more space, which you are not projecting when you move. So the infrastructure is always has been a struggle, but we are managing. We're always trying to find other ways to abide by the standard, to be compliant, but also to use as much of the space and time that we have. The struggle in the shifting from 2005 to 2018, as everybody knows, when you have a new system that you are not acquainted with, it can be intimidating at first. I mean, we don't know, we didn't have any experience with the standard. We were kind of freaked out about it. It will be really complicated to move, to make the shift, but it wasn't, honestly. Once you get acquainted with the system, it's really, I really enjoy it more than the 2005. It gives you more, lots of stuff to do with the system. You have more analysis to do, and you can have other action plan to take with all your issues, and it can help you a lot with growing your system.
Thank you. Ala, can we talk a little bit? You also know that Tayyibat, as she said, like they were also one of the biggest chain of the frozen fries in Lebanon. So they also have, you got several certification, or not, let's say, audits. You passed through several audits throughout the years at Tayyibat. Each one has a specific requirement, and you weren't like, at the time of the audit, you were not actually certified. And as I want to mention that Tayyibat, they are not yet FSSC certified, and they started the export, and they are managing, and they're having like big names client in their hands. So can you tell me a little bit about the audit experience? What were the struggles, or etc.? What were the expectations of the auditor?
Actually, the clients are always in a rush, because because of the current situation in the country, and they are shifting for local suppliers. I'm talking about the international brands, and they need the suppliers to be compliant with their standards. It is not an easy task at all. So we wanted to become certified certified at least against their standards. We need to document their systems. We need to implement their systems. And we wanted to succeed and pass the audit with the highest score and with the least resources that we have, you know, because as Marie said, during the crisis, we have a lot of turnover. We have several issues. We have an issue with our suppliers because, you know, the raw material is changing, and food safety system is not an easy one, especially with our old infrastructural facility. So yes, it's not an easy. And also, if you're gonna have each month an audit and you have to do something new within this month, it's not an easy task. And each auditor has an approach, and they have his way in auditing, and he focuses on certain things. For example, if I have a non-conformity from the previous audit, and now he considers it not important, but he focuses on another one. So I have always busy schedule.
True. Yeah, definitely. We wish that we were certified like very recently, like to be certified in order to minimize those audits, because I know that if you have a client audit and you are already certified against the system, you can minimize this audit, or you can pay less fees for the auditor to come because they consider that you are already a certified system. You talked a little bit about the layout, Ala. Also, Marie mentioned it a little bit, but because you're in industry and a catering, it's a little bit easier. You have the flow, you have like sections, and that's it. But like in a manufacturing, and you know, you're increasing with the production. Let's say we used to have a single line producing maybe 1 ton of products per hour. Now this same industry needs to produce maybe 2 or 3 tons per the same hour in the same space. What are the main struggles, or how are you managing actually?
Actually, we have an old infrastructure. It's not a new one. And there is no possibility now to shift the location of our facility. So we have to renovate. We have to do like fine tunings to our facility in order to become compliant. And this is a big challenge actually during the implementation of the FSSC, because we have to separate the clean area from the unclean area. Also, we have to do, for example, the entrance, the workflow, and the employees flow. And Joël knows well, we meet like each and every 2 days. We would just put the facility map and we just start. Yes, we have to change this way. We have to put another entrance. Yeah. We have to install new doors. We have to install new fences separation.
Exactly,
and
for food security.
Yeah.
Right. One thing, Ala, one last thing actually, in the emergency preparedness, like, did it happen that because we're still in the implementation phase and we like not 100% sure, or like we're acing our system yet? So did you face anything like an emergency situation that you wish that you knew before how to handle? So like, I don't know, in the past a year?
Actually, we had a flooding issue during this winter, and this is in our basement floor. So this issue will cause us to like postpone the audit 2 months later, and now we're gonna stop our production for like 20 days in order to start tiling and to start renovating the whole floor, so that we can avoid this issue again. Great. Also, another crisis we faced is the fuel crisis that the whole Lebanese faced, and we managed this by getting our own fuel reserves, and in order not to stop our production, so that our generators are always working, and our fuel for our cars to reach the company and to do our job.
Thank you. Maries, can you before ending the session, can you tell us a little bit what are the added value, let's say, of the certification, and how can it can help you, you are expanding in other branches, you have other branches in all over, let's say, the area, you're in Paris, you're in the Gulf, etc. So does the system help in this?
Yes, of course. Being certified helps a lot in many aspects.
Really? Does it help?
It helps a lot. First, as a customer, because individually, when you know a company has a food safety management system, so you will trust it. You know that has less hazard, less risk. So this is the first of all, which means that you have customer satisfaction, customer retention, and you have a better reputation of the brand, which leads you to expand your market. When you have partners, even if they don't know the brand, I mean, like franchisee from abroad, they will trust the brand immediately and will be willing to go to business with it and be partners with it when they know that it's certified, when they can visit the central kitchen and see how we work, since we are a transparent company. We are transparent from our branches, because our branches are open kitchen, so customers can see how we prepare food. We start from this till we reach our central kitchen, which is open also to anyone who's willing to visit it. And also, this will give trust to all our partners, from our customers till our franchisee, either in Lebanon or abroad.
And the last question, Ala, do you think that, let's say, or actually, why are you implementing the FSSC? Why do you, and we're like really in a hurry, in a positive way to have this certificate? What is the added value, or why do we need it in our company, like in Tayyibat?
Actually, because our clients are requesting a GFSI scheme. So we wanted to go for an easy one. It's between the ISO and the BRC. It's in the middle. So we wanted to go for the FSSC certification.
Do I have a deadline?
Because they are nagging always.
Do I have a deadline to finish this consultancy? Thank you so much, ladies. Do you want to add anything, like to give any input to our participants? Anything to add?
Actually, I would like to thank you, Boyker, for the consultancy thing.
Thank you.
And because just the evidence that we are working with Boyker opens us to a great market. And before even getting the certificate, when they know that we are working with Boyker, so they just go on and they start getting our products. And really, it's a big thing.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And definitely, like, both clients are from the top-notch market, so that's good. Thank you, everyone. Maryse, do you like to add anything?
I mean, just what Ala said, because we've been partnering for 10 years, so I'm not gonna go into it, because Malak Tawa and Boyker has been partners.
We're loyal partners
for over 5-6 years. So of course you are supportive to us in all aspects, in pest control or food safety,
and even with the QPA,
even with the QPA and the branches.
Definitely.
So that's it, and it's always nice to support local and Lebanese companies.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending. I wish it was like a fruitful and informative session with the very short time that we have. Any question for me, for the client, about the systems? No questions? Yes, sure. Do we have a mic? Yes, thank you.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm really sorry I missed the beginning.
Yeah.
Maybe if you can, small resume to tell me how to get the certificate, or what is it?
Can you put the mic? I'm not hearing you.
Okay. What are the requirements? Because I missed everything. In fact, I came in the middle. So
can anyone like do a summary? So we can,
small summary, or who to talk to?
Yeah, actually, just to tell you that we were talking about the food safety management system. It's about exporting and what are the systems that are needed to the export market, or even here without exporting, what are the main points. So I explained a little bit about what is ISO, what is FSSC, what is BRC, what is global gap, the pros and cons of each system. So technically this is it in one sentence. Yes?
Okay, and how do we know which one we need, in fact?
You have to attend the session, or actually what you can, if you have a company, we do have safe consultant. They can come at your premises. They can check the premises, the layout, and they will advise you depending on your needs. Because in the last system, we said that based on the scope, based on everything that we do have a stand here, and like it's the third one or fourth one. You can just pass right away after the session. I can lead you and we can discuss further. Any other question? No? Hadi, how was the presentation? It was good? Thank you. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, sure. Yes, sure. Yes. Yes.
What about people who are still working at home, like homemade products?
Homemade product. Actually, for the homemade product, because of the layout, because of the layout of the kitchen, you have only like one kitchen. I'm not sure that we can go into ISO, FSSC, or something like that. And I'm gonna just talk about the return on investment, because like you will not, like, unless you want to really expand. What I will suggest is to have like a Q Platinum Award certification, which is a HORECA system. It was also approved by ISO experts from Switzerland itself, where they created the ISO standard. We all know this. And we can have like a small kitchen audit, like it's 5 kitchen audits per year. You get a certificate and you can post it, you can put it, and in the marketing of the certificate, it's easier than the ISO and the FSSC. It's the Q Platinum Award. I'm not sure, I don't have that, but also in our stand, we can give you all the details about it. So, thank you once again. I'm really happy against everything that's happening around in the country, all the crises that we're having. We still have this perseverance and this consistency in booming and in exporting and in like expanding our businesses and our joie de vivre, actually, because we are Lebanese, because we want to continue. We will never stop. Whether we want to implement any system, we will create hope in everything in our life, whether in a food safety management system, in life, or in the country itself. So let's all go from this session and this session on a positive note. And again, thank you. Our stand is here. If you have any question, I will be at the stand for like a couple of hours, and that's it. Thank you. Bye-bye. And definitely Maryse and Ala, I already thank